hey, welcome again to the Dr. Kit's Shake Up. And it's always a privilege to be here with you, just hanging out with you all. And I thank you all for just being here tonight with me, or this evening. It's not night, a lot of sunshine going on out there, but hey, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Listen, you know how it is, a shake up, it just transforms one thing from the other. It just reframes something else. You see it one way, you experience it another way. Okay, so that's what we do. And so I'd like for you to like, follow, share, and subscribe, because it is the lifeblood of this and all podcast. We like you to like, follow, share, and subscribe. So just go ahead and do that. And for me and for others, then you get a variety of really, really good stuff out there. Okay, so we just do that. All right, listen. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, we'd love for you to be a part of the show. All right, and all you got to do is just go ahead and email drkitspeaks@gmail.com, and my team will get on it and get you on. You can be on camera, you can be off camera. We'd rather have you on camera, because it just adds to the beauty of the show when we can see you. Okay, so we just want you to do that. All right. So like, follow, share, subscribe, and also drkitspeaks@gmail.com. Listen, without much more, we got a show for you. We got a celeb on with us tonight, a celebrity. Oh, man, this guy is all right. And before I bring him on, I'm going to read you some stuff about this guy. And you really know he's listen. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I want to omit his name and give you his name when I'm done, but it might go a little bit funny. So listen, my guest tonight is known as Frederick A. Whitlow II, affectionately known as Mr. Fred, Dr. Whitlow II, Minister Fred. He is an energetic individual. He's a transplant from New York City to Huntsville. Left a big old apple to come to get a little peg out of down here in Huntsville, Alabama, who is a super excited about life, people, and completely passionate about seeing businesses and the community, especially those with the greatest need, become healthy. He's a transformer, financially and self-sustained, vibrant, and thriving economically, while discovering and embracing the people's purpose, worth, potential, and achieving their American dream. He meets no strangers, and that I know for a fact. Okay, he serves the city of Huntsville as the Youth and Family Service Coordinator for Huntsville Housing Authority. Listen, there's a lot more in this, but listen, I'm so excited. We're going to get to some of these things, because he's going to tell us about these things. And so right now, I'd like to bring on my longtime friend, Dr. Fred.
Hey, what's going on?
Listen, Dr. Fred, man, I didn't get down to this part here, but listen,
Yeah,
we've known each other since the 90s, right?
Yeah, back in the day when I was just on the corner in Mason Court, and I was like, yo, why we can't drop this Jesus piece and help people get up out the neighborhood and from the hood to the neighborhood. And Doc Kit was always supportive, man. I appreciate you, man. And here we are some years later. Yeah, man, it's a blessing, Doc.
Yeah, and we've gotten along, man, all this time. We may not, we know, because we're both busy, so we don't necessarily cross paths like this,
Yeah.
But whenever we see each other, it's always always a,
yeah,
always that. Yeah.
It is.
Listen, when I met you, one of the first things that came out your mouth after Fred Whitlow was, I got this thing I call No More Dirty.
Yeah.
Listen, Fred. We're friends, man. Fred,
That's fine. Fred's fine. Listen, Fred's fine.
Where did you get this thing No More Dirty from? Tell the listeners what it really means, man. No more dirty, man. Because I've never asked you this question before, and I want to know.
You're right. You haven't. First, I want to say thanks for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. So, to answer your question, the theme "No More Dirty" is really, the scripture we're talking about. Jesus caught the woman in adultery, and all of the church folk was tripping and setting her up, and they was part of the scheme. And at the end of the day, Jesus, they said, "What are we gonna do? Stone her, or we're gonna do this? We're gonna do that." And so, as a result, Jesus didn't say nothing. He didn't, no judgment here, nothing. He just started writing in the sand, Doc, and cats start dipping. They dip, Doc. They dip. Okay, yeah, you don't need to put that on the sand, Messiah. You do not need to put that on the sand. They start dipping. And so at the end of the day, it was just her and the Messiah, Yeshua the Christ, who we know to be Jesus Christ of the Bible. And he says to her, "Where are your accusers? Where are your people? The folk that put you in front of me?" She looked around. Nobody was there. And he said, "Well, listen, I'm not going to accuse you. You already know the business. Just go and sin no more. Do something different. No more dirt." And because at the time that listen, here's the thing, Doc. I was in New Orleans at the time. I was working as assistant chaplain to the ward and also the chaplain religious services for the state of Louisiana Department of Correction at the juvenile prison, Bridge City Correction Center for Youth. And these are boys that had done horrendous crimes, had been sexually assaulted, PZT, Project Zero Tolerance, meaning their offenses were so deep and just horrific in terms of second, third degree kind of casing, that they would be there for until juvenile life. And most of them would move into the Department of Correction and be there for the rest of their life for their crime committed. And so I was there. Someone asked me to come and rap. I went and rapped for the chaplaincy and for that Sunday service. And I did I rapped them through the Bible, and I did because I remember in New Orleans, everybody's riding dirty. Master P, 504, Juvie, all of that. They dirty South. So here I go talking about no more dirty in my flow. And I rapped, and I went home, got a call because I was touring and stuff. And the warden of the facility said, "Hey, can you come back the next day?" I said, "Sure." And he said, "Listen, we have never had our kids, and we got the roughest kids in the state of Louisiana. And it was the top 2. It was number 1 worst juvenile place to be. And the kids stayed, and then they wanted more. Wow. They hired me. Listen, they hired me through the state of Louisiana. And then they asked me to do curriculum development. So I created a No More Dirty hip hop and education curriculum through rap and behavior transformation. This is before No More Dirty. This is just the concept. You asked me where it come from. So I created the No More Dirty concept. And so they had to write lyrically without explicits. It had to be clean. We were shaking it up like your show. We were shaking it up, all clean content. But then I would do the religious services on Sunday. So we dropped the Jesus piece, and we made it relatable and always clean content. And then after Hurricane Katrina, pushed me back here, and I was going to open up a Christian club, a No More Dirty spot in New Orleans, downtown, in the cut. But of course, the hurricane changed that. But by that time, I had created this whole concept. So No More Dirty became a movement. Then when I moved back here, 2013, I started the public charity No More Dirty Inc. or Incorporated, and all the things that people like, "Oh man, this is dope. This is nice, man. How did you do that?" It all stemmed from working with youth in at-risk community. I don't think youth are at risk, Doc. I think the communities they live in are so at risk, and they're so impressionable that it makes the whole environment, including our kids, at-risk behaviors, long-term or short-term. So that's how No More Dirty became this thing that everybody's like really digging on, be honest.
All right. Listen, there are a couple of questions I got to ask you. He said, well, listen, the kids are not at risk.
Correct.
The community is at risk. Can you embellish that? Can you talk more about that? Because we don't hear that kind of stuff. We talk about at-risk kids, and when we talk about at-risk kids, you know what they say about it. But you reframed it and you put it in another frame over here and say it's a community. So what do you mean by that?
So at risk is a behavior that's risky. to the point that it is an at risk to the community, the city, economics, growth and development, so on and so on and so on. Right. Okay. That is the negativity and the stigma that comes with when you say at risk. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it's really the environment that is really the at risk component. You have young people, families we live in communities. So instead of having a neighborhood, it's so rough, we call it the hood. But if you inject Jesus, good, God, service, behavioral transformation, all these great things, the at risk becomes a atmosphere for good and transformative service. And so when people, and it's just a labeling, it's like I was talking to some kids and I work for housing and I work with a lot of young brothers. I got a program there I'll tell you a bit about. That shout out to our leadership at Huntsville Housing Authority for the opportunity. But what I'm learning is that one of the things about hurting jargon words is it's not the people, but it's the behavior, the things. So it's like we say, you hear people, this, Doc, you got paperwork, more paperwork than I got. And I'm just getting in the game. Listen, if you say you bad, you ain't no good, then they believe that. But if you say, man, listen, that behavior is really not healthy. And you're a good kid. Listen, man, I know you could do this. For real? Yeah, you could do this. And you could be a hellion from the pits of, oh my God. And so what happens is it's speaking life. It's helping to become engaged in good so they can respect God, but respect a new form, a new way, a new pathway to become the best versions of their self, which makes them productive citizens, which makes them economically astute. Now the tax dollars doesn't go to the state in prisons that are privatized, but now it goes to federal loans or school Pell Grants to be able to get an education, get scholarships, move on and become articulate and doctors. And then we turn around and say, man, I remember he was the worst of the worst. Yeah, but however, he is now Dr. So-and-so. He is now a change. He's going back into gang affiliated neighborhoods and changing. She's doing this and they're doing this. And you understand what I'm saying, Doc?
Man, I understand what you're saying.
Like that's next level.
It sure is. It sure is because you said something that I don't. Man, listen, Doc.
Listen, you'll make me run out there. I'm ready to run. You know what I mean?
Listen, man, you said something that I believe from the core because I try to say some of that same stuff too. And you're saying, listen, it's not the behavior of the kids that we focus on, the behavior of the kids. And this is my way of understanding what you're saying, but we miss the who of the person.
Right.
Woo! And when you miss the who of the person and we focus on the behavior of the kids, what we're looking at is saying we're going to judge them. And you use this word, this label, but you know how it is. You know how it is, man. You go to the store. Go to the store, pick up a can of, veggie beans. You know how that is. They got vegetarian beans on there, right? And you know what it is? You and I have never looked into a can of beans.
True.
We look at the label on the beans and believe the label. And so we ought to say to ourselves, the label we put on kids, okay, it speaks to our belief about what's in the can.
Whether we know it or not. Whether there's truth to that or because the biggest thing is there's always a why. Why did this person choose this path? Why did the person go down this road? Why? But if you're looking at the what and the how and not the why, you missed it. Yeah, that kid might have never had anybody say anything like, I love you. Man, I'm proud of you. Young lady, you are a queen. You look great. Come on, let me tuck this in here. Guy, let me get my boys in the house. We took them to a tournament just recently. Came out #1 best public housing youth, 15U, 18U. My boys were immaculate. Young men was immaculate. There's an organization, Man Up, taught them how to do the ties. Now they have a nice dress shirt. Some of them never even knew how to bow a tie. To tie a bow a tie, escargot, none of that. But when you teach them, then they're like, oh man, Coach, can I put this on? Coach, can I put this on? Coach, can I put? Yeah. And they coming in with their jeans creased and crushed, the nice the J's or whatever they wearing, and a nice polo shirt, a nice dress shirt with a little pocket piece. The only stuff they had, but they shining, Doc.
Yeah.
Go from F's to B's and C's.
Yeah.
And to A's.
Yeah.
Come on now. Because you're not dumb. You just made an unwise decision. You got to invest in yourself. And I tell my kids, it's you guys. You're the today.
Yes.
Right now, you the today.
So let me ask you this then, because based on what I hear you saying about how they dress and everything else, I'm thinking that there might be a distinct difference in the behavior when they dress according to the way you are shaping them, as opposed to when they dress when they're just running the streets and carrying. Now, because I want you to talk about this, because I'm thinking that up here is either following the way they're dressed, and you're saying no, there's something else up here, and you can dress down here based on this. Is there any truth to any of that, sir? I mean,
the biggest thing is you're talking about mindset development.
Okay, all right.
It's mindset. Part of when I talk to young men and just different in some of the initiatives in general, we speak to their brilliance. Okay. We have an initiative called Camp Smart. We believe every young person, child, student is smart. Whether they come to us with 6 F's, 1 D, and 1 C, or if they come to us with 6 A's, 1 B, and 1 C. We believe that, and it's really to help them to see their greatness, to understand what smart is. Emotional intelligence. What is that? What does it mean to be emotionally astute? What does that mean? No, let's talk about it. Every time you make a decision, it is an intelligence decision that drives how you think emotionally, how you touch, you feel. So you mean if I, and so if I, next thing you know, they're like, well, coach, well, you tell me how. Challenge their mind, encourage them to think critically. And by the time they get done, they could have on some smooth Dickies. They can have on, some Chocks, whatever, Crocs, they can slides, and they still 3.7 GPA. And in some of the most at-risk communities that you think that can never happen. Can any good thing come out of?
There you go.
Definitely. Yes. And to see them, once they grab it, they're not going back. They just not.
Right. So let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
Listen, there's got to be something about you. Because because you are investing in these kids, young people, that other people are willing to throw on the garbage pile of society, but you are willing to take these broken pieces that look like they're going to be broken, and here is the word, and I want you to talk about this, and you are willing to transform them. That's the word. How, what is it about you that would make you say, I want to transform these kids from what they are, where they are, to where they can become? Can you talk to us about that, sir?
Sure. So that one thing about me. So I was a kid, great parents, 2-parent home. But my parents noticed, like a lot of other kids, that I was inquisitive.
Right. I
had a lot of questions. One of the things I remember my parents, because we grew up in a Christian home, and they would say, I would say, Dad, why can't we rap for Jesus? Why can't we go to the Dope Boys, which is next to the church house, which is next to the crack house, which is next to the alcohol house, ABC store? Why can't we just go over there and tell them how cool Jesus is? And so I was the one kid that was always asking that question. And then here's the other thing. One thing about me, I always realized that no matter what your upbringing, whether your upbringing is in a holistic, clean, safe environment or not, what we all need is belonging. And so my thing, I identify with kids because they like to play ball. They like to do the same things I did. The difference was I had someone to say, Fred, you can do this, but you don't need to do it with marijuana coming out your breath. Fred, you can do this, but you got to keep your grades up so you can do whatever you want to do. Where other kids were told they're nobody, you will never do anything right, and your daddy didn't do nothing, and your mama ain't nothing done, and and so the conversation, the speaking, the investment is what made me different. And then I just love people. So I think one of the things is I was a kid, I was always around people, and it wasn't church folk. Listen, some of my closest friends, and I would say probably when I was in high school, I went to public school instead of church school because it's I'm the oldest of four, so we couldn't afford to go to parochial private school, all of us. So I ended up going to a public school after moving from New York State, and then when my dad was in ministry, we moved to Birmingham, Woodlawn. Now, Woodlawn, if anybody know Woodlawn in Birmingham, First 48, you already know the business. So you go down First Avenue, you got to go through East Lake, Woodlawn, and then Woodlawn High School. So between the cops calling me the N-word and shuffling us and thinking everybody's dope boys with a dope bag, with a duffel bag, and then the fighting going on, and then we were segregated, integrated. We were bussed into a school. Listen,
man, you've been through.
I was just like all the rest of them. Only whether I love Jesus or not, I was catching it. I was catching hockey sticks. I was catching it. So what I learned was people are people, no matter where you live. And so I was that one kid they called Bookworm, that all the dope boy, the kids, the mercs, the killers, all of it. And listen, I'm like them, high school. So after high school, I would say, hey, man, you fell in school, man. They're going to put you out. I would help the dope boys, my same age, get their lessons. They all graduated with me. I graduated top of my school. They graduated with Lord have mercy. Thank you, Jesus. But they got out. and that was a blessing because they would have been shot up or killed in the streets. And when I went back to Birmingham, I would see my dudes. And they'd be like, man, you remember Bookworm when we used to do this, man? Man, I love you, dog. Man, you kept me from getting killed and fighting them cops. And, So for me, I've always loved people. And it never changed. It just became more prevalent. And I believe God said, okay, Fred, your mission is to be boots on the ground and do work. God and good. Share God and good.
Right.
And that has always been a track for me. And when you share God, it's transformative. When you share good, it's transformative.
Yeah.
And the difference is you learn, the Bible says what's bound in heaven is bound on earth. And we have to occupy until he comes, right? So if I get it right with God, then I'm gonna be transformed into his likeness. And I'm gonna actually, when I ask him and I want to do stuff, he's gonna be more likely to say, "Man, I trust you, son. You've been doing all right, bro. Let's do this." If I'm doing what I need to do, get a trade, do something, then they're gonna pay you. And I tell the brothers in the street, people don't have to like you. They don't have to like your color, your skin, but they gotta pay you for your brain. Pay me for my brain.
Yeah. Because the brain has no color. You see, that's what it is.
So and I tell the dope boys, you listen, baptize your money, baptize your mindset, and let's go do something. And I got dope boys that are no longer dope boys, took their drug money, baptized it, dipped it in tax deductible stuff, help kids, get them the same people they were selling marijuana, crack, cocaine, drugs, and everything else. Now they turn that over and put scholarships into these the most at-risk communities, and they're no longer doing it because they saw their kids, they saw the mamas that was on crack, that their kids that they were saved because they killed, they poured the poison in on the other generation, but the little ones we were able to save. Right. So now they're like, man, I don't even do that no more, man. Fred, what we got to do, man? What else you want to do? And then y'all be like, oh, man, that's dope. How did that happen? We baptized the world.
No more dirty. No more dirty.
No more dirty.
Listen, man. Listen, man. You remember what was that show on TV? Do you go Dynamite? Remember
Dynamite.
That? Man, you are the dynamite.
But you know what? Listen, Doc, you know what I love about being a transforming agent is that the same gospel that you share, the same good message, the same transformative strategies that you share with others, it changes me.
Yeah.
Like, when I listen, I hated school when I was smart. But it wasn't until I started working with brothers that didn't have the greatest grades. It was like, Fred, man, I'm dumb. I ain't gonna ever make none of myself. No, you're not. In fact, we're gonna do this together. Now I'm helping them, but guess what? I'm learning how to appreciate education. Me.
That's right. Absolutely. So listen.
So this thing is reciprocal, bro. This is reciprocal. You help somebody else. The Bible says when you help others, the same hand you helping others, listen, it's helping you. And it's invaluable. It's invaluable. Some of my best friends were cats out of the street. I'm like, Jesus, I'm the only church boy out of the whole squad. Rest of them roughnecks.
Yeah, but listen, man. Listen, man. That might go back to something else we just talked about, because you were willing to see the who in the person and not just label them according to their what, when, where, why, and how they did that. Yeah. But listen, I got this question. I'm burning on it about this question, man.
He's so funny.
Listen.
Yes, sir.
All the things that you know and everything that you're sharing, And listen, before I ask this question, hey, everybody, thank you all for coming on. Let me just do a quick commercial here for my brother, Dr. Fred Whitlow, the man, No More Dirty.
Oh my God.
This is the man right here. Listen, so like, share, and subscribe. No More Dirty. This man is good. I've known him for a long time, and we've always been good company for each other. But Doc, here's a question. Knowing all the stuff that you're telling everybody out here.
Right, got you.
It's not a secret to the church community.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, and I know it's not because of you.
Okay. Yeah, no.
But you're not in the churches telling our youth the stuff that you're telling, that you're sharing right now. Now let's go back. Let me see if I can get this right. If we don't have at-risk kids, is it possible that the church might become an at-risk community if we don't go bring people like you in there to share the things that you're sharing with us right now?
So let me put it this way.
Yeah.
If we don't share truth, information, it becomes misinformation, or it's never heard. It's not about where you are, though we're talking about in the church house or in communities of faith. The principle's still the same. You're absolutely right. Whether I'm a kid in the street, whether I'm a kid in the church, if I don't know who I am, I don't know who I am wherever I am. And so what I would say to that is, to those that have keys and they're what we call either gatekeepers or they're individuals that have been given a position in the communities of faith, is to be okay with ever changing and ever evolving strategies that don't compromise the gospel. Of course not, but they complement the gospel. Jesus, listen. Well, I'm gonna just go churchy real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just go here real quick.
You might go ahead. You might convert me, man. So go ahead. I need some.
Yeah, Stephen's almost got it. I hope you are there. No, but anyway.
Listen, man, I need some transformation.
Doc is listen. Y'all fooling with Doc. Doc Kid is out of control right now. But no, seriously. What I'm realizing is, and what I've realized over these years of doing this, is that the gospel is not discriminating. Doing good is not discriminating.
No,
disseminating information is so great, because people, we hear the scripture already, people perish for lack of knowledge. But imagine sharing the knowledge or a skill set with someone and saying, hey, had you ever thought about this? Oh, I ain't thought about that. Or, hey, let's put together a No More Dirty conference at your church. Or let's put together,
that's what I'm talking about.
So what happened? That's exactly what happened. I began to do that because it's only one me, and people were like, well, can we do? I said, well, let's set up a tour, the No More Dirty tour, and hit these churches and these. And what happens is when I do my tours, I'll partner with a community of faith and local government, city government. So, you know, so that you can run parallel. There are positive things in both, on both structures and both entities. And then you get to see the good that happens in your community that's not in a church house or that's not equated with faith or religious affiliations. But then you get to see a faith affiliated community, church, synagogue, whatever, that's doing such great and impactful work that then now we can come together and be as one, even though we're different entities, and not have to deal with the church and state, the issues, the drama. No, we're not fooling with that. We're not doing that. If I'm doing right by you and you doing right by me, we just good people. We doing good work. Period.
Right.
Period.
Right. So listen, man. Listen.
Yes.
Again, I just want to thank you for being here. But there are a couple of things I want to get to here because I don't know if you got these. I don't know if these recognition came from the meat aisle at a grocery store or not. So I need to find out. But so I'm going to read it out so that people can make their.
I'll tell you the story behind that. That's crazy. Yeah, I got you.
But listen. My guest tonight is, Dr. Fred Whitlow, organizer, curator, everything of No More Dirty, and he's been doing this thing now for several decades. Listen, Doc. He said he received numerous recognition to include the prestigious Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, the Presidential Volunteer Service Award from the White House, not the one in Montgomery, but the one up there. The one up there. The one up there. Yeah, and an honorary doctorate degree in humane letters. His humanitarian work locally and abroad. Now, man, that is speaking volumes. You hear what I'm saying here? That's speaking not just a few pages, not a few paragraph. For you to get a lifetime presidential, irrevocable presidential achievement award, a presidential volunteer service award from the White House, and when your cohorts see the work that you do and say, we are going to anoint you to be, at this level with the rest of us, man, that is something that I know that's a lot of stuff to talk about. Which one you want to talk about first? Because that was all in one paragraph.
So
go ahead.
You so funny. Again, it's the White House. It's the big house, the one in Washington, D.C. Got his own little space and everybody else work around it. That one. So, and then I'm going to show you, since I'm here in my home office, I'm going to show you that afterward, just so you all can see, like, this is no joke. So, this happened just in 2024. I got a call. I was at work. Got a call on my cell phone. The number was private. Just had just the lines, and I was like, and normally I don't pick it up, but it called again. I picked it up, and it said, "Yes, can I speak to Frederick Whitlow II?" I'm like, "Who says my whole name first?" I said, "This is he." Because now they call me Mr. Whitlow or Coach Whitlow. If you know me in the faith community as Minister Fred, and those then you know Doc just came. So I'm like this. I'm like, oh yeah, this is he. And they said, well, we need to let you know that your name has been nominated for the Presidential Lifetime Achievement. I said, excuse me. I said, what? And I almost said, man, stop playing. Because I was like, really, you tripping? Oh, you tripping? And so I was like, okay. I said, so who is this again? And they said, this is ambassador to the White House, so and so. And I'm like, okay. And then they said, well, check your email, your personal email, and told me my email. I'm like, okay, this is a little strange. So when checked it, pulled it up, then it shared the information. And now I'm like, okay. And then so what happens in
watching you, man.
Yeah. So like, now listen, this is over 3 decades of just between Strictly Jesus, No More Dirty, boots on the ground, creating curriculum. This is just being a blessing to people. I didn't ask for it. I just do the work because God gave me, he saved me. So I'm like, I'm going back into the same neighborhoods. So we talked again I submitted some information. Then they said, then again, I got another call, and then they were like, you've been nominated. And then I got another call and I was selected. Now I'm like, I'm like tripping. I'm like, me? You talking about me? Me? The dude that raps?
Come on.
And a couple other friends, they also, shout out to them. And then I found out later it was 2 people who nominated me from this area. And it just was amazing. And it went from that to then another call for the medal for volunteer. And then I had to submit some things for that. And I got this gold medal. I'm going to show you in a second. Folks, this is a thing. This is a real thing. So then I'm like, okay, Presidential Lifetime, which is Cougar for Cocoa Puffs. But then after that, oh, what's up? What's up, Dorian? What's up? Dorian, that's yeah, there it is. So then after that, it goes from that to honorary. They said we want to consider you for honorary doctorate degree. And I was like, okay, like this is getting bigger than life for me, because I just didn't expect it. And what was cool about it is I was in tears, and my name is Whitlow, so I was the last person to get the information. I want to show you. Let me just show you so y'all can be like, this is a real thing. 1 second. Right there. One thing.
Man. Oh, Fred, you're gonna break it out on us, huh? Oh,
I am.
Nah. You're gonna say, listen. There's
so for those that didn't believe, look at that.
Man, it's got the eagle on it, man.
That's the deal. That's it right there, and it has the medal, everything. Volunteer Service Award.
Man,
from the White House. Then on top of that, then this is the honorary doctorates. Shout out to Ambassador, the White House.
Wow, man, woo!
And then what really got me, man, I was in tears, Doc, when after we got our honorary doctorates, and that's in the area of humane letters, meaning that it's about the work for humanity. Right. Then I got a letter from the White House. This one right here, Doc, with the seal and his name, J.R. Biden Jr.
Wow, man.
And then this one, I was just done. I'm just like, now you're gonna make me go get another one. Your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Man. Woo.
So for me, and I took it to my my guys, Doc Kit. Bring Kit back on here, man. This is pretty emotional. It's just one of those kind of things where you think, man, sometimes you think that no one's really looking, and not that you're really looking for people to say, man, proud of you, thank you. But this came like out of the blue. And then it was the day before our 4th annual Good Music and Arts Festival. And I had almost over 4,000 people for that. And I got a chance to share it, and like shared it with the folk from the city, house, Parks and Rec, housing, all these people, Doc, because, I represent people that are about the business of kingdom and community.
Right.
And so I see it as, there it is. If I can do it, you can do it. And it has changed my life. It hasn't changed who I am. It has impacted me to the point where now we've created more initiatives, a Greatness Project for kids coming out of brokenness situation, the least of these individuals with a past that they could never work in government because they're felons or they have felony records, first, second, third offenders. I'm working on something for those that are sexual offenders, that are trying to help them find facilities that are outside the scope of children's neighborhoods. They too are people, right? And they've paid their time, done their damage, made their amends, restitution. They still need to be thriving citizens. Young people from tough areas, I've dealt with wealthy kids, got everything in the world, and don't know who they are, don't care. They feel like they're worth nothing. I'm just worth my mom's money,
Yeah.
$2.5 million, and I don't know who I am. So it goes beyond what you have or don't have. And I'm just grateful to be one of those individuals that are transforming lives for life. And that's why we did the name of the organization, No More Dirty Inc. No More Dirty Incorporated. No more dirt. I ain't here to judge you. I'm here to say, listen, if you shift your gears, if you walk a different path, you step from a dirty path to a clean path just by diversion from where you are to where you can be. And then you give them the credit as God gives us the credit by grace through faith, even though you jacking up every day, you still cussing and fussing, you still got issues. But because you're willing to do something different, you begin to become different and your mindset becomes different. So that even if you wanted to go back to the old Fred or the old John or the old Jane or the old whatever, it'll be difficult because you've created a lifestyle based on habitual habits and patterns that your body says, man, I ain't done that in a minute. It's a universal principle as well as a spiritual principle, an economic principle. It is a hands-on, get down with the get down principle. Whatever you put your hands to, you don't look back, you put your hands to and don't look back, go.
Right. But listen, let me say this here.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the moment of when you received all those things, but you said something, and
Yeah.
you know, and I want to say something here because this is the burning thought just came to me. You know, back in the days, Bible days, you know, the people, the populace, they had a hard time. They had a hard time having to conceptualize God. Who is this spirit? You can't see a spirit.
Yeah.
So what happened was God sent his son in the form of a flesh that looked like them, talked like them, dressed like them. And then he said, me and my father, we are one. And so they began to understand that concept. And then they could get a sense of who God is. Now listen to what I'm about to say, because this is what I want you to respond to. There's a lot of young kids who can't see people that are in the ivory towers, that are way up there. Okay.
Yeah.
God anointed you to look like them, walk like them, talk like them, eat like them, do everything like them. And so the concept of this high and lofty piece that they would like to get to, now that they see you being there, okay, it gives them this whole sense of, man, I can do this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why can I do this? Because I talked to a man who did it. I looked at a man who did it. I walked with a man who did it. I knew him when he used to live around the corner down there. This man who used to do it.
Yeah.
So can you talk about how these young brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers who are feeling helpless and hopeless about the future of their children, how just seeing you and hearing you, how does that give them hope?
So that's a powerful question. Let me answer it this way. Just yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have practice in public housing, Huntsville Housing Authority. I'm the Youth and Family Services Coordinator, meaning I coordinate activities for the youth and their parents and guardians to become self-sufficient, self-sustainable, and eventually move out of government assisted housing to the market rate in whatever, right? So I do a basketball program I created called HHA, Huntsville Housing Authority, basketball and youth basketball and education. We've been doing right at 16 months. We're going to pitch it for some national recognitions. And I have about 29 young men from some of the toughest communities and neighborhoods and situations.
Right.
And when I shared the awards with them, when I first started it, people would say, you can't find kids in the hood that's going to get their books and still do sports and still have good behavior. I said, let me explain something to you. Y'all love Mr. Whitlow, Coach Whitlow, but I was one that hated school, smart as a whip, didn't want to do nothing. Knew the Bible, and it cuss you out, flat out. I'm the same guy as these guys, 12 to 17, without a roadmap, a literal roadmap. And so they're like, Coach Whitlow, what we doing this one? What we doing here? I empower them as someone empowered me. And to answer your question, to be able to see excellence, especially in Black and brown communities, to see someone who can wear a nice shirt and then turn around and wear a hoodie or a hood and wear some sneaks, or dress the sneaks with some $100 sneakers and a nice shirt and a nice Escort. And they're like, man, if he can do it, then maybe I can do it. And you can't embrace faith without hope.
Okay.
So let me just say this. When I talk to my guys and I say, what do you want to do with your life? They didn't know what they wanted to do. So we began to discover a vision board. What do you want to, what do you enjoy? And they told me the things they enjoy, whether it was good or not so healthy. And I said, now let's attach an idea, a career to it. Most of my kids didn't know a career from a job. Well, I just want to get a job and be able to get out the hood. No, you need a career to stay out of the neighborhood that you're in now. And this is a community. This ain't a hood. So talking life with the verbiage, with how you carry yourself. That's what I had to do. Speaking life, not cussing them out, but speaking in a way that they like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. And if I don't do right, he's putting me off the program. I'm putting you out of the program. You're going to do 50 push-ups, and then you're going to go and call your mom, and then you're going to tell your mom in front of me that you cussed him flat out. And then after that, I'm going to give you a hug, a side hug, because you still can't come back for 3 weeks. You know, I love you. You know I love you. I know, Coach. I'm going to get it right. Came back. The grades went from F's to C's. We celebrated that.
That's a huge jump.
We partnered with Alabama A&M. We partnered with NACE, National Center of Educational Excellence. Then you partner with people so they see in all this Black and brown excellence. Then you order books. The Summer Read, where it's a Black young man from A&M started a mentoring. So they're seeing Black excellence, brown excellence, Caucasian excellence. Because I have a couple non-African Americans that rock with us. So showing that diversity and all of us working together. So I was telling the kids the other day, it was like, man, it's tripping about the DAEI. You can't fight DEI when you live it. If you live inclusion, if you live diversity, equity, and inclusion, if you live in harmony, you live the golden rule, you don't have to tell me. I'm living it. And people are going to do business with me, whether you like it or not, because your boy is nice. Literally nice. And he know how to execute and get that bag. And so we teach, you know what I'm saying? We teach how do you get wealth versus a bag. Because everybody talking about, I want to get the bag, dog. The bag is just for a moment. Generational wealth is here. Legacy is in the middle. Build a legacy at 13. And by the time you get 18, you will have not just finances, but you'll have a brain that turns and thinks success. And that answers your question because you become the living legacy that others may have imagined but hadn't seen in their homes. You know,
okay. Right. Listen. Great. We might have more to say on it. Can you deal with this one right here? Can you deal with that question here?
Okay. It says tough love is necessary.
Go ahead.
We have an island saying you have to bend that tree while it's young. It's absolutely necessary. Good job. So love that quote. So so tough love. Here's a tough, and thank you for sharing that. One of the things about tough love, and I agree with this statement, that's a beautiful Proverbs too, by the way, is that what makes the love tough is that they have not experienced it.
Can you explain? Can you expand on that?
Tough love. You deal with somebody, every other word is a cuss, fuss, want to fight, blah, blah, blah. That's a tough kid. Got it. And then you have to be just as tough. You won't do that in this building. or whatever that may. The reason I said that is because the only reason why they're tough in that vein or in that direction is because that's what they have embraced, learned, see as what I'm supposed to do. So giving them tough love or a different type of love in itself is tough because they have not experienced it. They have not done it. They don't even believe it's real. But the more you do it, show tough love, as the young ladies put on the screen, they will understand that it wasn't tough. It was the way it should have been the first time. So you understand what I'm saying? So again, what makes it tough is I'm not used to it. I don't believe that happens because my mom ain't done that before. My dad ain't done that before. My uncle is a dope boy. My mama out there stripping. My this and that and that and that and that and that and that and that. And all the things that they have been used to, been taught, they have been digested, has been negative. And of course, it's a tough road because it doesn't lead to productive citizenship, meaning economic stability, a career, and so on and so on. But if you turn around and you reverse that, it's going to be tough anyway. To tell a kid to write a verse without cussing, that's tough. It's tough, but it's fair. Because now you can say, I could now. So I tell the boys when I used to work in a juvenile prison, if you can cuss to get me to get a message, do the rap without cussing and still give me the message. I don't need this. Okay, well then don't use the S word. Give me something else. I don't need this. Okay, you said that, but you still hadn't rewritten your rap. Rewrite your rap and then call me. Buzz the buzzer. Everybody else is writing and they're not. Now it's going to be tougher because they're the oddball out. And it's almost that reverse psychology.
And they become the oddball out. And what I've seen under
peer pressure will make you crack. Peer pressure will crack you.
Yeah.
When all the dudes are doing right and they're trying to do right, and you the one out, ouch. Okay, well you can leave. And I put one out, and he's like every day he comes to the practice, and then he's, can I practice to you? I said, you can play until it's time to practice. And every day he inches in. Well, I got all A's, coach. Did you stop cussing? I'm working on the coach. Okay, when you finally get that in your head, then call me, bring your mom. I told him he had to bring his mom and dad back. We'll sit down and we'll create a mental health plan. But that means the parent got to not be prideful, because now you messing with your kid. So I'm sucking all y'all in this solution. Sucking you all. I'm sucking you all in, baby.
I'm so glad baby. I'm so glad I didn't have to deal with you when I was like that, man.
Man, listen, they say, man, coach is hell, man. No, coach is fair. Hell is out there when you locked up and you somebody's girlfriend. That's hell.
Yeah.
That's PG. That's as PG I go. Okay. So
yeah. Man. Listen, man. Man. I hate to have to bring this thing to a conclusion, but this has been something, Dr. Fred, man, back in the day, no more dirty. Every time I said, so what's up, no more dirty? I always called you that. The LNG said, Dr. Fred, it seems you are characterologically built to do the work you do. That's a big old word. What does that mean? How can someone who is not as outgoing, be effective in the work like you do? That's a great question.
That's a great question. Okay.
More of an introvert. How can they do it? Is there another way?
Yeah, there is. There's a way. First, live it. I will say 3 points. Live it, and live it to the best of your ability and excellence. Because I got some cats, it's a part of our programs, and they're introverts. They don't do all that. They just don't do that. But if you can live out your character, right, then if you can love in a way that people see the impact and feel the impact, right, then the third thing is, then when you speak, it transcends your personality type. What do I mean? You could be an introvert, you can be super quiet, but you can do some mentoring and be that smart person and help somebody with math, reading, science, whatever. Or you can be that person just helping with like the basketball program, you issuing out the drinks and the Gatorades and what have you, and the granola bar, and say, you guys did great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. You all are kings. You know that. Just speaking life in those small moments, because guess what? A lot of kids, a lot of adults even don't have someone that they can pull up on, like Dr. Kid or you, Ellen, or me, or Dorian, or whomever, because they don't hear that. They don't encounter that. So whenever they encounter you, they should get that no matter what your personality type is. Don't allow your personality type, whether it's gregarious like mine, or whether it's very quiet, whether it's very logical, it doesn't matter. Success is an impact is because of who you are and your passion that drives you to purpose. It's who you are, and it's what drives you, because they're going to see that. I'm not a Dr. Kit, but I've always looked up to Dr. Kit. I'm a Minister Fred. I'm now a doctor, and I only use all this stuff just to say, listen, I was a smart kid, didn't like school, went through Hurricane Katrina, ate in garbage cans, lived in a shelter for 16 months, didn't have a first 5 years of the clothes I had in Huntsville was somebody gave me through Hurricane Katrina, food stamps, EBT cards, stayed in very low income, no bike, rode a bike, clean toilets in Madison, Michigan. I could tell you the whole nine. Didn't have a car. Somebody gave me a car from a testimony, and then from a testimony, they said, man, I want to help you from ahead. And the next thing it went on, and it was the passion and drive. I didn't stop. And so wherever you are in that, whatever because everybody has a gift set and everybody has skills, and somebody needs to see and experience that from you, because you're the only transformative agent that they may see. Because I'm not in your neighborhood. I'm not that dude. You may not be that lady, but you are one of those individuals, dudes, ladies, that can make a significant impact in your world. And if you start small, you never know. I'm telling you, I didn't expect none of this. And half the time, and Dr. Kit could tell you, people didn't want to hear nobody rapping about Jesus, rapping without cussing. They didn't want to hear that from me. Nobody wanted to hear that. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing a Bobby Jones gospel showcase. How does that happen? Because you stay the course. You stay the course. You stay the course. And allow God to elevate you, and people will elevate you. This is people that gives you, the Bible says he will bless the nation because of the faithful in the nation.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, that was the question she asked. So you know what I'm saying?
It was a question she asked, but I'm doing the shake up, but you shaking me up, man. I'm not shaking me.
I mean, but you know what? That's what truth does, man. Truth does.
Always.
And again, kudos to you, Doc Kit and Mike and your whole staff. Keep doing this stuff, man. Keep doing this stuff. Because somebody's hearing it. Somebody's going to take this message. Someone's going to watch one of your shows, your podcast, online, wherever it might be. And it's going to shake them up to the point where they're going to say, God, help me find my mission field.
Yeah. Hey, Ronnie.
What's up?
This is good.
Hey, can I share, if you guys want to learn more about it, can maybe you put the website up? That way they can kind of look into some other things. And if we can partner with you.
Yeah.
We partnered with Dorian when we did the Huntsville Museum of Art. It had never been done. And, Black and brown excellence in the building is usually not. So our goal is to be the change agent that we can. But check it out. If you type in No More Dirty Inc., it's going to pull up, but the website is NMDINC. We just did the acronyms because everything is showtentionspan.org and make a world of a difference, and then we have a radio show, a TV show.
I was going to ask you about that.
So we do the No More Dirty radio show. Right now we're on We Up, which is 103.1 on Sundays at 6 p.m. Central. We're also on G93. Shout out to Ed Gaines, 5 p.m. on Sundays Central. And then we're on Envision Dash Radio, which is a global platform And of course, you can just go to the podcast and look up No More Dirty Radio Show. And then we do the Session Live, which is our talk show. And you can get that on LinkedIn or on Facebook, everything No More Dirty Inc. or No More Dirty Media, if it's Instagram. But our goal is just to be a blessing. It's transforming lives for life. No exceptions. It's for life.
Mm.
You know, speak life, live life, love life, and also give life, and then serve life.
Yeah.
You know, so
listen.
Yes, sir.
My friend.
Thank you.
My friend. Just follow. Okay. Stay the course.
Yes. Thank
Great
you.
info. Thanks for sharing. But my friend, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
I call you my friend because no. I call
Yeah,
you
we
my
fair.
friend
We fair.
because
Now I can take my towel. If I did all my due diligence now, I can go put my hat on.
because the way you introduce the way you there you go. Listen, man, back in the 90s, man, the way you introduce yourself to me, man, you know, it was this really nice guy just came to me and said, you know, my name is Fred Whitner, and you know, and you told me about No More Dirty, you know, and then you were so impactful back then, you know, very, very impactful to the point where I never forgot about No More Dirty. Never.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
And if you understand, man, you know, there were many times that I wouldn't even call you Fred. I said, "What's up, No More Dirty?"
And everybody does that. Unless you really know me in the space, then you know me in the space. Otherwise, oh, that's No More Dirty dude. Hey man, hey man. I'm like, hey, what's up? That's why I keep the brim. I got to keep it one time.
I want to see you. I want to see you in. I know you're in the schools, but I want to see you in our churches. Okay. I really want to see you in our churches, in the various youth departments of the churches. Denomination is not an issue here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about going into the church so that they can have this understanding of the blending of their social life and their spiritual life. And that blending is so important. And the one that is more powerful will influence the other. You know what I'm saying? And draw them over to this side. So you know, I'd really love to see that, man. And I know.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We got the platform. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Real talk. Real talk.
We're gonna talk.
You know, I'm 100,000. I just make a call, man. We got the deal again. I got everything. I got X everything. I'm like Jesus in the 12. They
man.
Pimps, killers, murderers, love the Lord. They all sold out and they love people.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna talk.
You already got you got Dorian, you got all these other sisters, you got all these solid folk. So we can do this, man. Let's find us a date and let's.
We're gonna follow up on this, right?
Bet that. Seriously.
We're gonna follow up on this. Yes,
sir.
Yeah, all right.
I'm already in.
Listen, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, we're gonna put you in the green room for a minute. Don't run away. You know, because we're gonna talk some more. Okay. But I really do thank you so much. And there you are. There you have it, my people. That had this. I told you we had a dynamics show this evening. This man is so knowledgeable about you know, social learning and how to impact our young people and to get into the lives of the parents. Some of the parents of the kids he's talking about, they're not a whole lot older than their kids, you know. So the parents need parenting also. And this man is on it. He's doing all of these things. And we're gonna partner. We're gonna partner. We're gonna do some things, and maybe put on some conferences. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do some things to kind of shake up Huntsville so that these kids don't get shaken up. You know. In the jailhouse, or you know, we're running behind them in a funeral train. We just don't need that. We don't need that. Our young kids, doctors, lawyers, preachers, teachers, oceanographers, astronomers, you know, they're all of that. But if they could just do some of the things that people like Dr. Fred is doing, oh man, we would tear up this world in a minute and transform it. And this is why we need you to support people like Dr. Fred. He is, with No More Dirty Ink. Just go to No More Dirty Ink and you'll be okay. Now, thank you so much. Listen, but in the meantime, we didn't like, as I close, I like, share, subscribe, and follow. Just go ahead and do that. Like, share, subscribe, and follow, and share it so that people can play it over and over. And this one here, people got to hear it, because this man he's in the trenches. And if they're in a trench, he's going to dig a trench and then get in the trench and then talk to people who's looking like they need to be in the trench. This man will do it. I tell you, I've known him now since about 92, 91, 92. I've known this man a long time. Met him in church, as a matter of fact. That's how we met, in church. And he approached me, and we've been friends ever since, And if you'd like to be a part of to be considered for a part of the show, to be on the show, just go drkitspeaks@gmail.com, and we'll get you on there. Okay, drkitspeaks@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for just being patient with us. It was a great show. We appreciate you. Please come on back again next week. We're going to have another good show next week, and we're not going to tell you much about it, but we surprise you. Okay. All right. Be good. Thanks much. Thank you for being on. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.